now that Democrats control the House, what does that mean moving forward?
Bill Rosenberg is a political science professor at Drexel University, and he joins us live in the CBS 3 News Center. Bill, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
So, Bill, how does this affect this split, if you will, the president's agenda?
Well, first of all, I would say that in this election, there was a victory either way for Donald Trump. If the House went Democratic, he would be able to say that over the next 2 years that everything that didn't happen for his agenda was the fault of the Democrats. And if he would have won the House of Representatives, he would claim sort of a mandate for everything that he's done. What we're really looking to right now is the fact that all committee chairmanships and subcommittee chairmanships in the House are now going to be Democratic, so they're going to be able to have subpoena power and they're going to be able to do investigations, but they're going to have to be careful not to overreach.
And we're hearing Nancy Pelosi's name a lot again, Bill. So, Bill, what moves do you anticipate the Democrats making now that they control the House? As you said, they have to be careful as far as if they go after the president. Do you think they will, or what might happen now?
Well, I think that the Democrats in particular had an amazing amount of deference to the fact that they wanted to stay on message for this election. You heard virtually no discussion at all by Democrats about impeachment. They don't want the election to be a referendum on should we impeach Donald Trump. The Democrats were largely dealing with issues about health care and about other issues, recognizing that the economy generally is doing pretty well. They're going to be in a situation where I think they're going to want to take the position of being the responsible adults in the room rather than being the attackers.
Well, Bill, what do the results tell us about how the average American is feeling? I mean, did they vote for the candidates or did they vote for or against the president?
Well, I think we have two things to consider. One is the fact that if you looked at the coverage last night, which I was very attuned to, the coverage was all about did the Democrats take this seat or lose this seat. It was all about partisanship. There was very little discussion about the specific issues in the campaign. So what we're really looking at now is that the people that did get elected, how are they going to approach the issues in both the House and the Senate, as well as the governorships? One of the big stories that you don't want to miss is the fact that Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, which were the surprise states for Donald Trump in 2016, now have elected statewide Democratic governors. So that leaves sort of a path for Democrats in the 2020 election.
And Bill, let's stick with that point for a moment, because there were a lot of governorship positions open, I think 36 or maybe a little bit less than that, but quite a few, and they seem to pick up, the Democrats seem to pick up quite a few seats. What does that mean? It's not necessarily Congress, but the role of governorship does play an important role. Talk about that very quickly.
Well, what happens is we're coming into a period where the next reapportionment process is going to take place. That means the boundary lines for congressional districts, and that really sets up who is likely to win a congressional seat depending upon how you draw the boundary line. So that's why it's really important. Second of all, I think we have to recognize that two of the biggest defeats yesterday were actually African-American Democrats running for governors in both Georgia and Florida. Very close races, but they came up just a bit short.
Well, thank you, Bill. We appreciate Bill Rosenberg from Drexel University.
A lot of insight this morning.
Thank you.
And our campaign 2018 coverage continues online at cbsphilly.com. There you'll find all the results and complete coverage on the midterm elections. Also, CBS This Morning is offering extended coverage of campaign 2018. The show will be on an extra hour today from 7 to 10 a.m. You can catch it right after Eyewitness News this morning.